Hi, welcome to the Pop Filler Podcast. My name is Philip. Let's go ahead and take a look in the mailbag. Lee R. asks, there are a lot of stories involving a guy coming out of retirement for one last job. Where does this trope originate? Hi, Lee. I'm pretty sure that it comes from male writers being afraid of both aging and eventual irrelevancy. It speaks to the largely unspoken quest for immortality and the desire to feel like a living legend. It's a comforting device to say that the younger characters need an old-school, experienced hand to pull off their job or whatever. Even worse, the story will oftentimes practically force the guy out of retirement by endangering a weaker person, like a child, that becomes his responsibility to save, in a sort of moral blackmail. So now the retired guy is in an impossible position, but ultimately comes off as a noble hero, and maybe even dies in a blaze of glory, saving someone else that really just existed to be exploited as a vulnerable character. I want to see a guy come out of retirement and realize that he doesn't care that much, so he just goes right back into retirement before anything really happens. I can relate to that guy now, and I'm not even close to retirement age. Maybe he's in an assisted living facility, and he really likes his routine of putting cups, checkers, and watching WGN before his afternoon nap. I think he should enjoy his retirement. Next up, I'm trying to get out of my comfort zone. I think it's important to try and evolve and grow, regardless of your age or stage in life. I try to live this out wherever I can. Like, this week, I did something I've never tried before. When I was getting dressed one morning, I put on some jeans, then I put a sock on my left foot. After that, instead of putting on the other sock, I went ahead and put on my left shoe and even tied the laces. Only then did I put on my right sock and shoe. The overall effect was strange, and I didn't like it. But I tried something new, so now I don't feel the need to try anything else new for the next few months. So how about you? What will you do to get out of your comfort zone? It's time again for Chinch Watch. Well, the chinch bugs that had infested the backyard seem to have slowed their ravage. There's still plenty of dead grass, but the patches don't seem to be spreading anymore. I got down in the grass in some sunny spots a couple of times over the last week to sift through the turf and look for any chinch bugs, but I haven't spotted any. There are a lot of other bugs down there, though. I whispered into the ground at the others and asked them to give me a call if they see any other chinch bugs around, but I haven't heard from any of them yet, so I'll take that as a good sign. Another good sign is that there are a few small shoots of green grass peeking through the dead areas. I've decided that granular insecticide is the most effective for our yard, so I definitely plan on putting it down next year to ward off the chinch. Until then, the watch will continue to continue. When I think about our universe, I consider all the wonders it holds. A galaxy full of stars and planets, a range of mountains, medicine that cures our illnesses, an ocean teeming with life, the fruit growing on a tree giving sweet fragrance to the air and sustenance to nearby fauna, the crackle and tear of lightning through the night sky, the comforting knowledge that there's an end to all of this, the wrinkles that form on an old person's face because they laughed and they cried and they lived. The bond. In listening to all these wonders, I begin to think about how wonders don't really have to be so grand or deep or majestic. Something like the feeling of stepping into some shade can be wondrous, or the taste of a good sandwich can be wondrous, or how about the feeling of freshly cut fingernails, the sound of pop. After considering all this wondrous stuff, I think it's probably not a good idea to get too carried away with just lumping any old thing under the umbrella of what should be considered wondrous. We live in a world where most of us just strive for mediocrity, and most of us get it, which from a certain point of view is nice. But it's important to know where the ordinary ends and the extraordinary begins. And I just don't honestly think that the realm of the extraordinary is where something like a sandwich should be placed. At the end of the day, I guess we should probably all be happy enough to find a little corner of existence that makes us and others feel somewhat comfortable. That might be the best thing we should hope for. Okay, before we wrap things up, it's time for household tips. Dust is everywhere and needs constant attention. Some things can go a little longer between dustings, like the top of the refrigerator or the water heater tank. But one thing you shouldn't neglect dusting for too long is your ceiling fans. When you raise your hands to stretch or celebrate and accidentally bang them on a spinning fan blade, you only want to have to deal with a hurt hand. You don't also want to be showered with dense clumps of dust. So here's the tip: dust your ceiling fans. Bonus tip: turn off a fan before you dust it. It's easier than dusting a fan in motion. Okay, that'll do it for another Pop Filler. Thanks for listening, and remember, you'll be fine.